It is now time to rank some albums every Sunday right here on this channel. After updating the Rat discography and ranking all of their studio records last night, it is now time that I do the same with Dokken. Dokken's origins go back to Los Angeles, California, USA in 1976, when Don Dokken formed his first band called Airborne. Then in 1978, he changed the band's name to his namesake, which became Dokken. It wasn't until 1981 when his first record, Breaking the Chains, was released on a French record label. Then in 1983, Breaking the Chains was re recorded by Dokken and his band comprised of Juan Croucier before joining Rat, George Lynch, and Wild Mick Brown. Jeff Pilson became the bass guitarist following Croucier's departure and remained with the group until its first breakup in 1989. Since then, Dokken has released 12 studio albums, the most recent being 2023's Heaven Comes Down. The current Dokken lineup is comprised of Dokken, John Levin, who had not only served as his guitar player for many years, but he is also his attorney. Story for another time. Chris McCavill and BJ Zampa, both men, were in the band House of Lords. Number 12, Shadow Life, 1997. This one is considered to be Dokken's weakest album, and for good reason. Their musical style changed to alternative rock, which I'm pretty sure pissed off a lot of its fan base, because they were sick of the alternative shit. It would be the final Dokken record for George Lynch. Kelly Gray produced the record and co-wrote the songs Here I Stand and I Don't Mind. He went on to produce and serve as Queensryche's guitarist when Q2K got released 2 years later. Number 11, Broken Bones, 2012. The only Dokken record to feature Jimmy DeGrasso, who once performed on Megadeth's albums like Risk and The World Needs a Hero, serving on drums due to the absence of Wild Mick Brown, and the only record to feature bass guitarist Sean McNabb. Dokken and guitarist John Levin wrote most of the album, except for songs like Waterfall and Victim of the Crime, which Don solely wrote. There is a cover of the Jefferson Airplane song Today that is on this record. Number 10, Hell to Pay, 2004. The first record featuring John Levin on guitars and produced by Dokken himself. Around this time, George and Don were not on speaking terms. Neither was he and Jeff. So he turned to Barry Sparks, a journeyman bassist that performed for Yngwie Malmsteen and the Michael Schenker Group and UFO. He also provided bass tracks on songs off of the Scorpions record Unbreakable, which was also released in 2004. Baton Rouge lead singer Kelly Keeling collaborated on songs like Prozac Nation, Care for You, and Letter to Home. That album went nowhere. Number 9, Lightning Strikes Again, 2008. Using the same lineup from the previous record, Hell to Pay, the title comes from a track from 1985's Under Lock and Key. Most songs off the album were written by Dokken and Levin, with the exception of one song that Don co-wrote with Mick Brown, that is Disease, while Dokken solely wrote How I Miss Your Smile and I Remember. Funny, because there was a song off Heaven Comes Down that's called I Remember. Now I listened to that song from this record, and it's different from the I Remember from Dokken's most recent studio album. Number 8, Heaven Comes Down, 2023. I reviewed this album shortly after its release, and I have to be honest, that record has to be Dokken's strongest efforts since the classic lineup era. I already mentioned I Remember, but this record had some awesome tracks like Fugitive, Gypsy, Over the Mountain, and I'll Never Give Up. They are great songs to listen to. I realize he can't sing the high notes as he used to because of all of his health issues, but you know what? His singing on this one is good enough for me. Number 7, Long Way Home, 2002. This is the only record to feature John Norum on lead guitar. He is best known for his time in the band Europe, who in 1986 had a hit record called The Final Countdown, and the first of 3 to feature bassist Barry Sparks. Kelly Keeling once again contributed to songwriting efforts with Sunless Days, Little Girl, There was a time Under the Gun and I Found. I Found what? This record contains their cover of the Yardbirds' 1965 tune, Heart Full of Soul, written by Graham Gouldman. Number 6, Dysfunctional, 1995. I believe this was originally supposed to be the follow-up to Don Dokken's solo album, Up From the Ashes. However, the classic Dokken lineup of Lynch, Pilson, and Brown reunited with him for this record. The record featured the only standout track, Too High to Fly, and a cover of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's From the Beginning. And on the Japan release, there was a bonus track called When the Good Die Young, which is an underrated gem. This record was not enough to reach gold status because in the mid-90s, nobody was buying hard rock and heavy metal records. It was all that alternative and grunge shit. Number 5, Erase the Slate, 1999. This is a favorite of mine due to this one being the only album to feature Winger's Reb Beach on lead guitar. Sure, he would also be a part of Whitesnake, but you know what? Reb is one of my favorite guitar players. Sadly, this is the last Dokken album for bassist Jeff Pilson because he would have a falling out with Don just like George did. The title track, Maddest Hatter, and Change the World are the only tracks that stood out from this underrated Dokken record. Number 4, Breaking the Chains, 1981/1983. Between the original 1981 release and the 1983 re-recording, the track listings were different. The song We're Illegal from the original was reworked as Live to Rock, Rock to Live, and the song Paris from the original was reworked and renamed Paris is Burning, recorded live from a Berlin, Germany concert in December of 1982. That track and the title track, along with In the Middle, are the only tracks that stood out from this album. The 1983 version, by the way. Number 3, Tooth and Nail, 1984. The first Dokken album to feature bassist Jeff Pilson after Juan Croucier left to join Rat. Tooth and Nail reached the top 50 on the Billboard 200 charts and went on to reach platinum status with songs like the title track, Alone Again, Into the Fire, and Just Got Lucky. Made this a highly recommendable record to listen to. Number 2, Back for the Attack, 1987. This album is known for the song Dream Warriors, which was used for the third Nightmare on Elm Street film. Back for the Attack has the honor of being the band's highest charting record, reaching number 13 on the Billboard 200, and remained on the chart for 33 weeks. Other than Dream Warriors, you had Heaven Sent, Burning Like a Flame, and So Many Tears, and not to mention Kiss of Death. This is one of those records that deserve highly recommendable spot for sure. And number 1, Under Lock and Key, 1985. Where Tooth and Nail started, Under Lock and Key picked up, as this one reached number 32 on the Billboard 200. This album got some love from Rolling Stone magazine, ranking this number 21 on its 50 greatest heavy metal albums of all time list, and number 11 on Metal Rules' 50 greatest hair metal albums list. Another platinum album like Tooth and Nail, which features songs like The Hunter, It's Not Love, and their best song ever, In My Dreams. This album, in my opinion, is the chosen one. Now, keep in mind, while I recap this list, Shadow Life and Broken Bones are completely forgettable. Hell to Pay was piss poor. Lightning Strikes Again was average. Heaven Comes Down, Long Way Home, and Dysfunctional were decent. Erase the Slate was a good record, even though you had Red Beach play guitar on that one. Breaking the Chains is also good, while albums like Tooth and Nail and Back for the Attack are highly recommendable. And of course, I stand by this one, Under Lock and Key is the best album. It's the chosen one. For more rankings of albums such as this one, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.